Good evening and welcome to the closing evening of the 9th annual Other Israel Film Festival. I'm Rabbi Joy Levitt. I'm the executive director here. And let me take this opportunity to thank you, our audience, for your extraordinary dedication and commitment to this festival, not only this year, but every year. Your presence, your questions, your challenges, your ideas are what keeps this festival relevant and important, and we're grateful to each one of you. Let me again thank the amazing Other Israel Festival team, Natasha Bunzel, Yotam Tubal. Yeah, go ahead, applaud. Ravit Turjeman and Zablocki. For their enduring commitment to excellence and to each of the artists whose film we get to see each year. Finally, it is my honor to introduce a person who, of course, needs no introduction, but let me say this. On Monday night, we watched the film about Abi Natan, the dreamer behind the Voice of Peace radio station that broadcasted from a ship somewhere in the Mediterranean for so many years. What was inspiring about Abi was that despite all odds, despite common sense, despite the persistent endurance of war and conflict, he continued to try to make peace. He continued to try to see the humanity in every person. And this is how I see the founder of the Other Israel Film Festival, who despite all odds, despite common sense, and despite the persistent endurance of war and conflict, doesn't ever give up searching for understanding and connections. The one and only Carole Zabar.
Thank you, Joy, for that really wonderful introduction. I thank you all for being here. This festival came at one of Israel's most challenging moments. Every day I read the paper and I didn't know what to do with myself. And I wondered if really this was the time to have a festival, but we soldiered on. Israel struggles with its identity as a democracy and primarily with its relations with its Arab citizens, which it really hasn't been able to see beyond their being Arabs. American-Israeli relations are on an all-time low. The Jewish community has been split and really needed a place to gather and to talk and to experience something together that would give them hope. With that background, I hope the festival would bring hope. It exceeded my wildest expectations. I couldn't believe it. Every night I came here, and it was filled to overflowing. People stayed for 2-hour films and then went upstairs for the talk back. But the most powerful messages for me came from the films. A great example was the film Partner with the Enemy, which was about two women, a Palestinian and a Jew, who built a business together because they liked each other, they thought they could work with each other, and so they set up a business. And it wasn't easy. One of them lived in Ramallah, and one of them lived in a kibbutz. But they learned from each other. There was a lot of cultural differences and a lot of huge arguments where each thought the other just didn't get it. But during their, I think it's 5 or 6 years together, they've grown and they've given something to each other. And they're an example of how these two peoples can learn from each other, can grow, and become better than they are separately. So, inshallah, it'll happen to us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Carole. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank briefly but wholeheartedly to all the people that made these past 8 days so successful and meaningful. I will start by thanking the JCC staff and leadership, specifically the tech crew here, Serena, Matt, Jeff. Thank you so much for all your hard work. I would like to thank our dedicated volunteers and interns who spent days and nights helping with every aspect of putting together this festival. Thanks to our partners for providing context to all the remarkable films, providing our audience with a call to action, taking the important issues that are brought up in the films into off the screen and into everyday life. I really encourage you to visit our website, otherisrael.org, visit our partners page, learn about them, engage with them, be part of what they do, and support them. Same goes to our remarkable filmmakers and speakers, over 30 of them this year, who joined us in sharing their remarkable work, courageous work, and interacting with each other and the audience, both at the Speakeasy Cafe, which is upstairs here in the lobby, with remarkable, I'm saying remarkable a lot, it must have been a remarkable week. With engaging conversations, as I said, both with each other and with our audiences, both here at the Speakeasy Cafe and across the street at our newly introduced a Drink with the Filmmaker space. I hope that this is a new tradition and you will all join us next year there as well. Orchestrating all of these efforts are the newest members of our team that are normally behind the scenes. So I would like to ask you to join me in applauding them and welcoming them to the spotlight for a change. Yotam Tubul and Natasha Banzel. Everyone meet Yotam and Natasha. Lastly, I would like to thank you, our audience, the thousands of you that joined us throughout the week and commentating, sharing, asking questions, sometimes arguing, sometimes agreeing, but always keeping the conversation and hope alive. I really hope to see you all next year. Thank you.
We're also this year very excited to announce an award. This is the first time we're doing this. We don't like our films, our children to compete in that way. So, but this year we felt there was an appropriate place for the right kind of award. And I would like to invite Tanya Simon to come to announce the winner of the first ever Bob Simon Award. That's going to be given here at the Other Israel Film Festival. We hope this is something that will continue and keep Bob Simon's memory alive. Please, Tanya, join us.
Thank you. I'd like to start by thanking the organizers of the festival for this honor. It's a privilege, in particular you, Isaac, and Ravit, and a special thanks to Carole Zabar. My mother and I are tremendously grateful, and my father would have been so touched to know there was an award in his name. For those of you who aren't familiar with my father and his work, he joined CBS News nearly 50 years ago, in June of 1967, a turning point for him and for Israel. He was very connected to Israel and saw it in a multifaceted way. He lived and worked there for about 25 years. The first story he covered was the Yom Kippur War, so he really saw it all. In the decades that followed, he covered a wide range of stories. He explored some of the harsher truths of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, the occupation, the settlements, but he also celebrated Israel's achievements and vibrancy with stories about Hadassah, the Air Force, nightlife in Tel Aviv, paddleball on the beach, matgut, for those of you who know. And my personal favorite was about Yaakov, an ordinary hippo who refused to leave the Tel Aviv Zoo. But lightheartedness aside, my father spent most of his career covering wars. He got up close and saw through the mystique of war. He didn't believe it was all glory. So for that reason, among others, the film Censored Voices would have resonated with him. And he would have been struck by how prophetic those soldiers were about what would unfold in Israel, and how uncomfortable they were with what they had done and experienced. Going to uncomfortable places was what my father did, and I don't just mean physically. It was how he saw his role as a journalist. He wasn't one to accept the official narrative, the party line, and he often paid a price for it. He was blacklisted in Vietnam during the war after a series of tough reports. He was captured in Iraq and held prisoner for 40 days, after refusing to embed with the US military during the first Gulf War. And he fled a coveted assignment at the State Department because there's nothing he hated more than covering press conferences and getting fed the official narrative. Censored Voices tells an uncomfortable story that challenges the accepted narrative about the Six-Day War, and that was my dad's kind of story. So for that reason, my mother and I are honored to present the first Bob Simon Award to Censored Voices.
Here to accept the award on behalf of the film is the film's writer and editor, Daniel Sivan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations. It was a wonderful film. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, all of you. Really, we want to thank the JCC and Other Israel and all our wonderful partners here. It really is an honor. And just on a personal matter, I mean, making this film was such a journey for us. And, you know, these past weeks, our Prime Minister of Israel said that we will forever live on our sword, that we will have this endless life of fighting and battling. And really, you know, as filmmakers, as long as we can make films, we really refuse to do that. We do believe in a different future. We do believe in coexistence. And this is what this film is about. It's about the agony of war and how we want a different future. So thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And thank you to Tanya and Francois Simon for giving this award. Our closing night here, I do have to mention also, of course, that Censored Voices, for those of you who missed it, is opening in theaters on November 20th. So please tell your friends and check it out there. For those of you who didn't hear, Dégradé, the second part of our closing night film festival presentation, was pulled kind of at the last minute. And I do have to take a moment to acknowledge it, I feel, and just say that I believe that films are made to be seen and have an impact on people, and definitely not to be withheld. I think it's not, if a leaf falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, I think yes, if a film falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, then it's not a film. The Other Israel Film Festival actually takes daring steps to bring challenging visions to the community. And the film community needs to really, I believe, rise up to support films that are shown in unexpected places, like all the films that came here this week. I'm saddened that the visions presenting the people of Gaza in the film Dégradé are being withheld from the people who I believe need to understand them the most. And I hope there'll be other opportunities to see this film. But over to tonight's closing night's film that was forever on the program, and we're excited that this one did not pull out. Thank you, Iris. And to introduce tonight's film, we are honored to have here Laurence Kardish, who coordinated the film exhibition program at the Museum of Modern Art for 44 years. Larry, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Isaac, and thank you, Carole, for the invitation to say 2 or 3 words just before this film. I saw Isaac and Carole in Haifa, where I was on the jury for the Israeli films. And since this film that you're about to see, this delightful film and this very important film that you're about to see, takes place in Haifa, I just have to say a few words about Haifa. It was my second time in Haifa, and it's an extraordinarily photographic and photogenic city. Indeed, the film that our jury was headed by an Iranian, Moshe Makhmalbaf, who can't go back to Iran at the moment, but who's made some wonderful films like The Peddler and Gabe, and he made a film about the Baha'i faith called The Garden, and of course the Baha'i temple is in Haifa. But while there were problems going on in Jerusalem, there seemed to be a real calm in Haifa, and it does seem to me, on just superficial viewing, but I was there a week, that there is probably the best integrated city in Israel between its Jewish citizens and its Arab citizens, which is what this film is about. So one word or two words, Haifa. The film that we gave the main award to is by Elad Kadan, and it's called Afterthought, and it's about all the steps in Haifa, the going up the stairs, the coming down the stairs, and what happens to just the people. It's a very existential and very dry comedy. But the other aspect of being at the festival was the amazing films made by women. The other two films that won the fiction competition, the feature-length competition, was a film called Barish by Michal Vinik, and also another film called Why Hast Thou Forsaken Me by Hadar Morag. Both films also deal with and are concerned with the issues of the other Israel. And I hope both of these films find distribution, and you will see them in New York. Now, Iris's film is also about about coexistence, and it's lovely, and it's gentle, and it's humane, and it's funny, and it takes place in the center of Haifa in a Arab Christian hair salon. And now Iris is a documentary filmmaker, and this is basically her second film. Her first film was shot in London in a hotel called Crofts Court in Golders Green, and it's a film called My Kosher Shifts. And she was the receptionist at this Lubavitcher hotel. Now, as far as I know, Iris is secular, but she wanted to make a film about her experiences at this hotel. And she adopted a style which she uses in Women in Sync, in which she becomes part of the action. She becomes a kind of a gentle yes, okay. You know, eliciting answers from the people that she meets, and so she's more kind of a Maxi Cohen filmmaker than, say, a Barbara Koppel. Just to talk about two other American Jewish filmmakers, women. So I hope you enjoy Women in Sync as much as I did, and that jury did, because it was one of the award winners in Haifa. Please welcome Iris Zaki.
Iris actually is just here to say hi.
I wasn't ready. Sorry. Hi.
And Iris will be here also after the film for a Q&A that will be led by the actress Milia Vital. You might recognize her from Stargate, Prisoners of War, which is on Hulu, Chatufim, the Israeli version of Homeland, and the much better Israeli version of Homeland. And my personal favorite, Noodle, which you could check out on our streaming site, israelfilmcenterstream.org. And Iris will be here right after the film for that Q&A, so please be sure to stay seated.
Thank you very much for watching.
After the film, after the Q&A, you'll be rewarded upstairs with a light reception, and we hope to continue the conversation there too, and throughout the year with our programs. Our team is always with us. I give a thanks too to Natasha, who unfortunately leaves us for her next project in the snowy mountains of Jackson Hole, and Yotam is with us full time, and I also have to add our thanks to Ravit Turjeman, who is not just the director of this festival, but really my partner in crime, and is the hardest working professional that I've ever met, and we are blessed to have her on our team. I'll just remind you now to silence your cell phones, keep them in your pocket. You know, they say that almost every movie, people say, great movie, but it was about 20 minutes too long. I promise you can't say that about this one. 20 minutes too short, and we'll see you right afterwards. Thank you very much.